Welcome everyone, this is Alex for the Coaster Spot, and today we're back at Hersheypark for construction update number 15. Look at that, we have so much of the truss extra up, just a few more pieces before we top off, and already have taken the drone up and I can see that the Heartline twist, the final version is finished. Let's stop rambling, let's get up there. We'll do the normal thing of drone in park, and then we'll come back to the gardens a little bit later today. Let's get the annoying part of the show out of the way and do the YouTube thing of asking you to like or dislike this video. Comment down below if your excitement level for Wildcat's Revenge. Subscribe and maybe consider hitting that bell for instant notifications when a video comes out. You can also follow me on Instagram, the Coaster Spot, where I post stories as the day goes along when I'm at the parks. And over on Twitter, I post the photos in high resolution so you can zoom in and look at them forever long you would like to, and really look at that detail and possibly spot something I missed. And if you do, comment down below. Every few videos or so I'd like to mention that we do follow all FAA regulations, and I've seen some videos on YouTube where others are not, and it does enrage me. Right here it looks like we're flying over the site, getting closer and closer, but mostly digital zoom. We're flying a little bit closer, but not by much. And the next clip starts right where the last one ended, but just zoomed out. As we now wrap around the site and take a look at all that steel that has gone up on that truss, that staging area that they're working on below the yellow crane, where they were working all day really getting those pieces ready to be lifted up. The storage lot on the right will show you that as well. If you look at the station right now, you can see that the staircases for the load and unload platform have been placed. They are very red and very bright. And off to the left, you can see the queue. What you can't see is the old photo booth location. I think that might be for more queue. That would make sense why they poured that pathway between the old queue and the photo booth area. But we'll find out soon enough, probably. And you can see the structure they added to the left of the black crane that was on top of the steel cross members that they added in our video last week. And you can see the Heartline roll with only one track added, exiting it, or actually entering it. Didn't realize that they added more of it, and it was only half complete when I flew, which was like 3 hours before the park even opened. And to the right of the station, you can see the roof that's been placed on top of those poles that we saw last week. And that's definitely going to be where the pass-through lockers are for the free lockers, because nothing will be allowed with you onto this ride. I don't even believe phones will be allowed. They're going to be probably pretty strict about this one. And you can see that the queue line has been extended underneath the brake run, and it's definitely wide enough to have fast track all the way up to right before the lockers. You can see on the right there, as we zoom in, the truss structure being built up along with the other piece. So two more pieces. The one on the right is going to go on top of the first drop structure, and then the crest will go on top of that afterwards. Here is the storage lot. More track pieces were delivered this week, and lots of more wood and everything. There's so much stuff still. I wonder what it's all for. We still don't have any trains yet, I believe. And finally, if you look at the station, you can see that there's just one little bit peeking through to the left of the unload staircase of the old paint job. They have completely blacked out the station building, so black and red is all you're gonna get. And that's all that I was able to really spot noteworthy from up above. Let's go inside a few hours later, like 4 or 5 hours later, after taking 11 rides on Stormrunner. It was a fantastic morning. And as I was walking over, didn't see them installing that last piece of track in the Heartline, but I did catch them lifting a new vent into place that's been placed on the exit of the 0G roll, the first one. And they're the construction workers getting it ready. One of you guys watched the video, which is really cool. Thanks for watching and building this amazing roller coaster for us. It's been a really fun process to watch. There's a Heartline on the left as they're landing that steel into place.
They actually were having a lot of troubles with this, and then the rain began, and they actually never got this in place on Saturday, so I assume it's actually not going to be in place until Monday. Here is the 0G roll. Lots of shots of it over and over again, so I'm going to show you some of it. But I love the steel structure it's going through. As I've said before, it's just really cool how much steel there is right there with the crossover and how close it's getting, and it's just everywhere. And now you're going to actually be able to see a saddle that's not quite lined up. This track is newly placed. I'm not sure if it's going to require them to modify the structure a little bit or if it just needs to be wrangled into place. We'll keep an eye on it. And here is the lift hill. Now definitely not peeking out above the station. It is in full view. It is huge. It is imposing. It's very dark. And it's going to be incredible once they get that red track in place and connect those two pieces together with the arch. Now let's talk about the progress on the station. First, the train storage building. You can see that they've begun to paint that white strip behind the downfalls for the gutter system. And then over at the station, they've also finished painting it black. And the ceiling is now red. It was white before. So yep, red and black. That's what you're gonna get. They painted that cross member red, and then there's a little bit more to paint on the right there. Here's a look at the helix area. Not as much progress as I was expecting this week, so we'll still compare and contrast to next week, where I think we'll see a lot more progress, but you can see more structure built up behind it. But next week, definitely this is going to look way different. I can't imagine it not, as they were working towards it. Now here's just a quick pan of the entire area to get you an idea of what it looks like all together. And you can see those footers now have a couple of steel poles attached to them, and there are some poles coming out of the old entrance building, which will definitely get a red roof just like the station. We'll definitely have a Wildcat's Revenge sign that's going to span between those two posts as they line up perfectly. And it's really neat how they reused all the steel brackets from the old build and just slotted a new piece of steel right through the station, and it's not even bolted up yet. And here's a look at the queue line. It is back together. They had to widen a bunch of these, but they reused as much as they could, for sure. It feels like this is more something Hersheypark did and not RMC. As on the construction tour, they joked how much structure was coming out, and are they actually keeping any of it? But yeah, you can see like the railings there, they kept as much as they could. And you may think I'm showing you that paint that's going on to the storage building, but no, I'm just really showing you the wave turn because it's amazing. Here is the structure they added onto that bridge they were building last week. On the right and on the left is the lift hill. You can see all the brackets there. They don't even flex, and I think that's because you don't need to worry about the tolerance of the wood structure since both are being manufactured. And then there are the cross members. You can see all the holes to the left and right of them. That's where more wood structure is probably going to be bolted up. And they're probably going to create a similar structure as the 0G stall has, where it's going to have two wooden uprights and then a steel cross member above it to do the 0G roll. And there's the first 0G roll. And here is the view from the Kissing Tower, which is impossible to get a steady shot of, but I figured I'd just show you what it looks like from there. Now let's go over to Hersheypark supply code.
And something I've been meaning to show you for a long time is the Wildcats merch. That's it so far. Basic logo. One's a t-shirt, one's a sweater. And then they have a bunch of merch for Wildcat, the original Wildcat. If you go to the coaster store right across from Fahrenheit, they have posters and shirts that I don't think are that great, but they got it. And then they also have a photo op here, which is kind of cool. So it's basically the rendering of the train, or a picture of the train, one of the two. It's just a picture of the train that they showed at APA, which is cool. And then Wildcat's Revenge with the logo upside down because you're upside down in that shot there. I don't know if that's intentional or not. It's kind of weird.
Spring is in full bloom. As you can see, all those trees with all their color. And just figured I'd get a little bit artsy and show you a few shots. And more artsiness with the truss through the Hersheypark Stadium arch there.
I don't know much about cars, but that can't be good.
And now we're pretty much just going to keep on showing you the truss over and over again. I don't have much to say about it. We're going to zoom in on it and you'll be able to see some of the brackets where the track is going to be placed onto it. But yeah, it's definitely grown quite a bit from last week. As I was saying, it had a lot more height to go. It looks incredible. I've said that over and over again. Not much more to say. So we'll be back in a moment. Now we need to look right below that yellow crane because there's something to zoom in on that's very exciting. There is a ceremonial American flag that's placed at the top of the structure, the highest point for the topping off. They were working on getting this thing ready all day long, adding a bunch of pieces. The crane was very active over in that area. Here is the station. I keep forgetting to show it to you from over here, but just adding more, working on that elevator. And then there's that mess of steel structure for the zero-G rolls where they cross over each other. Really neat. And it's really cool how the zero-G roll has like a inverted bent where it's just hanging down from those beams. It's very neat. I like that. I think this is the coolest view of the lift hill. That is very neat. So that's gonna do it for today's construction update. We'll be back for the topping off sometime this week. I'm very excited to see that once again on RMC. Like, comment, subscribe. This has been Alex. See you soon.